as streaming services continue to mine their studios' catalogs for new twists on old favorites. It was only a matter of time before we got an update on one of the all-time psychological and erotic thrillers. Let's talk about Paramount Plus's Fatal Attraction. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my TV review for the recent series Fatal Attraction. This is, of course, an adaptation of the film, like I mentioned, and this can be streamed right now on Paramount Plus. And by the way, you can also check out the original movie on Paramount Plus. That is a Paramount property, and so you can sort of compare and contrast as well. But before we launch into the specifics of this show and how it relates to the movie and my thoughts on it, I want to welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video and my channel. We do movie and TV reviews here on the channel, and I try to post something new just about every day for your viewing pleasure. So please consider subscribing and maybe even click that notification bell so you get alerted when I drop my new videos. If you're already a subscriber or you don't want to have another subscription, just like this video down below. That really helps the channel out as well. It helps people find my videos. All right, so Fatal Attraction. So let's talk about the movie real quickly. I saw it one time, not when it was originally out. I was a bit young at the time. It's an R-rated movie, but I saw it in college, so maybe like 7 or 8 years after it came out. They had, this is one of their movie nights at my college, so I went to see it. And I had sort of known the basics by that point. It was sort of a cultural touchstone. It was nominated for a ton of Oscars. Big hit movie. Best Picture was one of them. Glenn Close, I'm almost positive, was nominated for Best Actress. It had several nominations, so I don't know if Michael Douglas did or not as well. But this thing played in theaters for over a year, like it was a huge hit. And this is, of course, in the 80s, before things went to VHS right away. You had to wait a while and really, make those moments last at the multiplex, or, well, at the time it was even not really a multiplex yet, 1 or 2 screen theaters. But anyway, this played for a long time. So now you've got the Paramount update version on the Paramount Plus. And this is listed as a series, not a miniseries. So potentially we could get a season 2 of this. They've not given us word either way if that's happening, but this is not listed as a miniseries, so it's possible this could come back for more episodes. In the lead character department and acting department, you've got Joshua Jackson from Dawson's Creek way back when, and more recently the sci-fi hit Fringe. He plays Dan Gallagher, who is an LA district attorney who serves as the head of the Major Crimes Bureau. He was played in the film by Michael Douglas. You've got Lizzy Caplan playing the Glenn Close character Alex, who is a newly hired member of the Victim Services Bureau. And then Amanda Peet plays Beth, who is Dan's wife and mother to their daughter Ellen. She's played in the movie by Ann Archer. And then we have some other people you may recognize in this, including Toby Huss, Jessica Harper, and Reno Wilson. But these are taking the same exact characters from the movie and really fleshing them out. I think a big point of this show was, okay, we have instead of making a TV movie on Paramount Plus, let's do episodic stuff and really flesh out the backgrounds of these characters and kind of who they are. So this show certainly does that. I think some of that is a positive, and some of it is perhaps a detriment as well, because I'm not sure if we needed a full 8 episodes for this. I sort of gripe about that a lot with some of these streaming shows, especially if they're adaptations, of something that could be told in 5 or 6 episodes, but we're really stretching it out, to sort of get that content. But if you don't know the story, to cut it to the quick, the Glenn Close character Alex, who here, like I said, is played by Lizzy Caplan. She has an affair with Dan, and sort of goes off the deep end a bit psychologically, and it goes from there. So this is a flashback to present day show, or I guess present day to the future, however we want to look at it. But in the first episode, we see where Dan has ended up after all of this. So if we want to take that as present day, everything else is sort of in the past. And we go kind of back and forth throughout these episodes of, you know, what's happening with him currently, which I don't even want to get into because even though it's the first scene of the first episode, it maybe is a little bit spoilery, you know, for those not familiar with. And I don't even know if this that part happens in the movie. Like, I don't really remember the movie that well, and I'm not sure if it does kind of the flashback thing or not. Like I said, I saw it a long time ago. Here, though, I don't know. I think they go to that well a little bit too much. Like, I think that is part of the, you know, padding or whatever you might want to call it in this series, is that we're sort of you know, going to that present day a lot, when the most interesting stuff is what's behind us. I will say there's some interesting things going on with Dan in the present day, but I think maybe the series might have been served better if those scenes were kind of bookends to the episodes. As you know, and then in the episode we sort of figure out, okay, what are we talking about in this first scene that's in the present day? What happened, you know, to bring us to this point, and then maybe bookend it that way rather than going back and forth. I'm not sure it served the story very well, for this particular show, and sometimes it works, you know, and sometimes it doesn't. For me, I don't know that it worked as a device. Lizzy Caplan is pretty good here, but not at her best. We've seen her do so many great dramatic turns and things, and she's done, you know, some great comedy as well. But most recently, I guess she was in a series called Fleischman is in Trouble, which I think was on FX on Hulu, and that featured her, Jesse Eisenberg, and Claire Danes. It also involved, you know, a love triangle of sorts. But I think, and I didn't even love that show really. I think I gave it a pretty middling grade, like a C or a C plus. It was kind of rich white people doing rich white people things and having rich white people problems. Something that I can't usually, you know, get into unless it's like really good writing, you know, or something. And that one did not grab me. But I think her performance in that was, I don't know what you'd even want to say. It's certainly probably a more grounded show overall than Fatal Attraction, but she just seemed more committed to the role than she is here. She's fine, you know, she always does well, but I'm not sure. This seemed a little more soapy, I guess, in the writing department, and so maybe that was tripping her up a little bit. I don't know. Joshua Jackson, he's fine as well. You know, there's no huge like standout performances in this. You know, acting is certainly not, I think, top of mind with this show. People are going to tune in, I think, to see, okay, what's going on with these characters, what's going on with the background, whatever. I also think it has an odd stance on feminism. I'm not exactly sure what the takeaway is from this. You know, perhaps a few mixed messages. And I think, look, there were some mixed messages in the original movie as well, but you would think maybe they could update it a little bit for a 2023 sensibility, in that regard, make it, you know, definitely like more female empowering, perhaps. I'm not sure that it did that either. But look, I will say that the episodes are pretty compelling to watch, despite kind of all the negatives that I just said. So this is definitely a more average show. It's not a straight up negative. I would say, you know, proceed with caution, though. There's certainly a lot of other better choices out there, even in the sort of erotic thriller genre. So I leave Fatal Attraction on Paramount Plus with a C. It's okay, you know, it's very middling. If there is a second season, I guess I'm intrigued enough to kind of see where that takes us. But in any event, thank you for watching. Dan Reviews It, and we'll see you next time. Bye.